Anyway, let's get on to Afghanistan.
Man,
I've got to talk about this.
This is a bit of a debacle, but I know you have your stance. I have mine, and
Can't wait to tell you.
I personally, no one that in their right mind, I think, would disagree that we need to be out of Afghanistan.
Harlan Ullman writes, quote,
Afghanistan. We probably should have been out of Afghanistan 10 years ago.
Never have been there.
Once you find out that whatever we were looking for wasn't there, okay, cool, we're leaving. Because of course everybody flee to Pakistan. They're kind of hanging out. So why did we stay? So I'm not against the removal, but it's how we removed ourselves. It was just now these people still can't defend themselves because they've been overrun. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, but these fools are on like merry-go-rounds. They're inside the offices. They're jumping on.
There's people that have apparently been kills they've hooked on the landing gear thinking that they can.
Yes, like they can. Do they know they're gonna die?
Of course they do.
It's like, come on, man. But people would rather die than to stay over there. Well, that's crazy.
This is the part that I want to say to it. I think, unfortunately, I don't have the same opinion as you. You're 100% right when you say that, we should never have been in that war. And unfortunately, in the wonderful state of America, in this wonderful capitalist society, war is dollars.
With the world
and
police.
The people that I really feel sorry for are the families that have lost good people,
of course,
and good lives, and it's affected their lives, and they have ended up being the pawns in the industry. And then it gets to the point of, well, where do you stop to make it worth it? It was never worth it to be there in the first place. And I think they used it as an excuse, in my opinion.
Well, let's not forget Bush literally said it was a holy war to begin with.
Yeah, and then he turned around and says they had weapons of mass destruction.
That we never found.
And then we went in there and then there was none. This was, and that's what, what really upsets me is, it was $2.1 trillion. And the truth of the matter is there any easy way to walk away from it? I mean, Trump, right? He's the one, in all fairness. What I think of Mr. Trump, but I'll tell you what, I agreed with him when he turned around and says, you know what? It's time to get out
of there.
And then at the end of the day, the same mistake was made this time as what happened originally with the Taliban. Because America is always involved with other people's wars. I mean, I think there's only been, 2 years when America's never been involved in any wars?
Yeah.
The first time round, America actually gave guns and ammunitions to the Taliban originally to fight the regime there.
Right.
And then the Taliban turned them guns that we provided them with on us. And it's the same thing that's happened in Afghanistan. The police that we trained, that we armed, that we funded, are now shooting them guns at us, using them against America. And you've got to feel sorry for, I think the people that have really been victimised in this are the troops and the good troops that went in there with good intentions.
Doing their job.
And families have been hurt by this. I mean, people have lost limbs. It's cost us a fortune. It cost, $2.3 trillion? And here's the part that I really feel upset about as well, is from a money point, but I think there's a bigger loss than just the money. But, I really feel for the people of our services that have really contributed to this, as in giving personal sacrifices. But then the other point is, we've paid $2.3 trillion, and that's only what we know. It's probably cost us more than that in all the black stuff that goes on in the background and all the other stuff that we might have done. But that's only sort of the public figure. And here we are arguing over an infrastructure bill in Congress, and we can't get an infrastructure bill passed.
Right. Nope, I agree.
And it's just, I mean, in all fairness to Mr. Trump, I think it was the right thing to do. And the other thing I'm going to say to you is, when you get to that point, is there really any ideal way to walk away from it?
Well, to
me, it should have been done internationally.
So the thing about leaving the stuff there, in terms of the weapons, it's actually cheaper to stuff there than pay for the army to shoot back. And this is throughout history. The army does not transport things. They do, but for the most part, when they leave bases and other foreign real estate, pretty much, they blow it up.
Right. I was going to say they usually destroy it.
Yeah, they blow it up.
Right.
But this time, I believe the Taliban, in exchange for peace, said, leave all your stuff. Now, this isn't written, but it makes a lot more sense because you have people in the airport with green cards that are already approved to come to the United States who aren't allowed to come through. The Taliban is not letting any Middle Eastern.
Right.
You have to be American. So I think what happened is the Americans said, hey, we're going to leave this here for you because we're going to blow it up anyways. You guys use that, but you can't shoot us. Like, you got to let us get out of here, and then it's free going. Because the Taliban are now going on news presses with women and stuff. So they're showing that they're open. Now, I don't know what they're actually doing on the ground.
Behind the scenes, right.
But from a national standpoint, they're stepping up to the plate and trying to show that they're workable.
They're holding their end.
I'm not going to give them any credit because I know that it's not happening. But on the national stage, that's what's happening. But also, guys and whoever's watching, I've told Steven about this. This documentary right here, This Is What Winning Looks Like, is really good. I recommend anybody watching to go check it out. It's an hour and a half. It's lengthy, but it really goes deep into what is going on over there, and I learned a lot from it. So
and there's one other part that I want to sort of add to this whole Afghanistan equation is it's really ironic when you've got Russia that are still keeping their embassies open in the hope of negotiating. One of the things I found out last night, you know, that China and Russia military intelligence.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I mean, you hear that
so they're
kind of
giving them
conspiracy
satellite
stuff.
imagery now
Absolutely.
on different things that they've never had access to before.
Right.
You know, in exchange for sort of, I know China's doing it for cheap oil.
Right.
Or Russia's, one of them's doing it for cheap oil. So they're giving them all this military, you know, and that's, I think, the part that's worrying about the whole thing. And that's why I said to you, really what it should have been was a universal country pullout, because it's not just, you know, Americans have lost, what, 2,500 soldiers?
Yeah.
But by all accounts, of people of all nationalities, there's like 230,000 people. Different nationalities, even Afghanistan.
Too many. And
really, all it's been is a fight over oil, in my opinion.
It has. That's what it's always been about. When we first went over there.
You know, unfortunately, I feel our military have been formed.
Well, our spending
and I blame both sides. Don't get me wrong. I blame both sides.
Oh yeah, we're all in it.
There's no easy way to pull out because the American public said, "Why are we there? We need to get out." We've all said that.
Right.
And I agree with that.
We've been over there the whole time. Never left.
The longest war. Is it the longest war America's ever been involved in?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I have a bone to pick with these guys. Because how come they can go to the gym with their guns, no masks,
nothing,
and I'm over here,
and I can't even do
I
it,
gotta wear a
man.
mask to go to my gym? Are you serious, man?
And there's so many videos like this around, man. These dudes are just living the life, doing the thing. Look at me going all backwards, doing it the wrong way.
I can't even open carry in my gym.
He's
I
gonna
can't even get a lift with the open carry.
He's gonna get his dress caught in that bicycle. That is crazy.
Afghanistan living the dream.
They are.
Well, I mean,
at the Americans' expense.
You gotta.
I want to know who paid for them gyms.
We did.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to make.
You did and I did. That's who paid for them.
But I think like anything, time will tell on how that country, what happens to them.
Well, it's unfortunate that us being there so long and training so many of those guys that they're not in a position to defend themselves.
But do they want to develop them? Do they want to defend themselves?
You kind of wonder, do they? It's like, do they really want to even get involved with it? Do they just want to run?
It's like in the Iranian war when we had, you know, not the Iraq war. When Saddam Hussein was there,
Yeah, Desert Storm.
the British
yeah.
showed up, the Americans showed up. What did the Iraqi forces do? They got up and ran.
Run. What like they're doing now? If you there was a picture, Jack. I can't remember the picture of the
It's like they're just
C-130. The guys are hanging on to the bottom.
They're just doing it for a
So
job.
they're hanging. They're on the outside of the plane, hanging on the wheels and the landing gear while this jet is trying to take off. It's like, bro, you're gonna die. You're. I mean, at least those people were inside the plane. But man, you cannot. I don't know. They watch too many Liam Neeson movies or Harrison Ford. You cannot live on the landing gear of a plane, bro. You're gonna be a dead man, frozen solid.
That happened some years ago. I don't know if you know, with somebody from Russia or something. And they obviously put a very thick jacket on, and it was the landing gear of a. They landed at Heathrow Airport. When it landed at Heathrow Airport, when the landing gear came down, this guy frozen.
His body
dead,
popped out dead.
And he was literally wrapped around
Of
the thing,
course.
and he was dead. It was so cold.
Of course, can't survive up there with that. That's crazy. But yeah, this Afghanistan thing, man, it's special. This one, yes, this is what I'm talking about. These guys that plane's trying to take off.
All the videos when it's like 5,000 feet in the air. People
Yeah,
falling from
man,
it.
it's crazy.
Well, they was falling off.
Yeah.
They're trying to take off. They would rather die. Look at these dudes. They're hanging on.
But going
And
back,
I think it's a party.
because
They
y'all were talking about how it's gonna take time for this country to unfold. I don't think it will, because they have a clear cut on what they want to do, how they want to run it.
Well, it's going to go back to how they were doing it.
Exactly.
Sharia law.
It all goes down.
That's
to the
how it goes
Quran,
back.
And how, because the way they interpret the Quran is very specific to that region.
And
Right.
Let me
So-
sort of flip this round. This is what my argument is with this. What I think a lot of Americans, I understand about the women's rights and everything else. I really do. But how, if the ball was on the other foot, America wants to be run a particular way, Afghanistan comes here, says you need to run the country this particular way. How would you feel about it? That's really what America has sort of done to a degree with Afghanistan.
Well, we do that with everyone, with our
Well, no, but
westernized
that's
ideas.
The point, that's
yeah.
the point I'm trying to say, and that's where I think America needs to start being smarter, investing in American people and American system. It's like that. I so mentioned to you, yes, that's what makes me laugh about all the parties when they say, well, you know, Russia's interfered with 2016
Oh, the elections.
election. But the truth of the matter is, they did. All right, so let's not deny it. They did. But I'm sure America has interfered with different people's elections over the years.
Every U.S. election has been vice versa. Every other election
Right.
has been interfered with.
You know,
the
so
United
it's like,
States.
let's acknowledge the true situation. We've just got to be smarter by electronically being better. And I'm sorry, I think we're behind the tennis ball.
Oh yeah.
I really do. You know, with all the hacking that we've had and everything else, it's depressing, to be perfectly honest. So-called number one country of the world. I mean, I love America, but
Oh, so
the
number
Roman
one in what?
empires.
No.
But the Roman empires are a possibility where it might be coming to an end if we don't start to really get our act together.
We are number one in defense spending. I will say that. That's
But
the
why are we number one in defense spending?
Yeah, why? We are number one in defense spending, and probably the
Because
next 10 or
war
15
means money.
The next 10 or 15 countries don't add up to what we spend in. China's behind us.
War
They're not even
means
close to
money.
being half.
Well, it's catching up. It's catching up. But the truth of the matter is, it's all about the dollars. It's all about the money.
It is.
And that's what I think is so wrong when communities are struggling, people are struggling. I wish we would invest in.
We're talking about the homeless population here, and folks, dealing with
More people incarcerated in the world than
absolutely.
anybody else.